What's up guys, Magic Navs here, and in today's video I'm bringing to you a new airsoft review on the Cyma M3 shotgun. This is a spring powered shotgun to be exact, and I gotta say, for a budget spring powered shotgun, which is pretty rare to get here in Canada, especially one with a 3-round burst instead of a single round burst, which is kind of stupid. This is quite something, man. I will say, if I had to go the shotgun route and I couldn't get a semi-automatic shotgun for airsoft, this would probably be a good option for me if I didn't want to go the gas option for these. So let's get into some of the features. So one of the things you'll quickly notice when you pick up this replica is that it is very lightweight. I think out of all the airsoft guns that you could possibly get that are not a pistol, this is very light. This is probably only like maybe like 4 or 5 pounds at the most, right? Like, this is really light. Like, you can hold this with one hand probably for a pretty long time, or maybe not super long, but definitely much longer than you would with like a full metal body shotgun or rifle, if you will. And yeah, so that said, because with Cyma, even though it is plastic, everything like feels pretty durable. I mean, you gotta remember, this is a budget shotgun, so at least with where I got it from Andy's Airsoft, that guy is amazing with the kind of airsoft stuff that he can get here into Canada. He's a great website, man. So yeah, everything is like really durable so far from what I've tested. This is a great starter gun if you are deciding to go down the shotgun route. Maybe not the most ideal if you're just starting out in airsoft and you're like, you just want to get a gun that's cheap. Like, you're gonna be at quite a disadvantage with this. Of course, if you want to be a beast and go shotgun as your primary, then nobody's stopping you, right? Like, it's good for CQB for sure, but you'll have to get good at being fast with the pump, and as well as like dealing with the limited range. So bear those things in mind, right? When you get it in the box, you'll only have one shell, unfortunately, so you're gonna have to source an extra set of shells. When you buy them, it'll come in a pack of 6, so you'll get one extra one, which is kind of nice in case you lose one, right? But with these shells, the way it works is these shells work as like a magazine. So instead of having to eject a shell after every shot, each shell holds 30 BBs or 30 rounds, but every time you shoot, it shoots out 3 BBs. So you're getting a 3-shot burst essentially. So if you do the math, 3 BBs every shot, you're getting 10 shots per shell. Okay. What's kind of nice about this is obviously you only have to load one shell in. You don't have to worry about losing shells for one, and it also kind of, in many ways, just makes the reloads much easier and faster, right? There is still a bit of a learning curve with operating these kinds of shotguns for airsoft, because it's not, unless you get one that's shell ejecting and that requires you to load 7 or 8 shells in. This is the limitations with airsoft shotguns, so bear that in mind. But I'll show you how to load it. Actually, all the shells are empty, so there's no worry of any BBs flying out. But what I like to do, and this is something kind of based off of quad loading with a shotgun, just like if you've seen John Wick 3. But as a right-hander, from the shooting position, I will flip the I will rotate the gun to my left until the loading port is now facing up. The magazine, or I should say shell release, is right here, on which is going to be on your right. From behind the gun when you're shooting, it's going to be on your right. I believe the Tokyo Marui one is on the left, because a lot of the Tokyo Marui, or I should say specifically, the Tokyo Marui shotgun shells are also compatible with the Cyma and vice versa. As far as parts, I don't know, so don't ask me, but maybe, right? Anyways, the shell release is right here. This will open the trap door of the loading port. The technique that I found works best is if I take my hand and I go over the trigger like this, and I contact my middle finger right on that slide, on that shell release. I'm gonna pull my hand towards myself, and as I do, it opens the trap door. Hopefully you guys can see that, right? So I bring my hand over the trigger guard, and my middle finger contacts the shell release, and I don't need to put a lot of pressure, but I just do a quick jerk back with my hand towards myself. That opens the trap door. From here, I just grab one shell, I pull it down, or push it down more so, and that way I can take a shell, load the front of the shell in first, push down, close the door, and now I can roll the gun back right side up, and then I can start operating the shotgun. Okay, now just like a real pump action M870 or M3 shotgun in this case, it has a crossbolt safety, which is right here where my pinky, or yeah, right where my pinky's pointing. You'll see when you actually get a close-up view of this, it's going to be impossible to see, but it's going to be a red ring right around that safety. When you are in a shooting position, you can just middle finger, reach underneath and push that safety in. Now, if I had pumped the shotgun like that, safety's on, I cannot fire the gun. When I'm ready to shoot though, I can now take my middle finger, push it back the other way, and now I can fire the shotgun, just like that. Okay. Now keep a couple things in mind. Because this is a spring-powered shotgun, operating the bolt is not going to be realistic. If you have a gas-powered shotgun like the Matador shotgun that I've done a review on years back, much more realistic. This, you're not going to go for realism. You're not going for realism that much. You're going for just budget-friendly and cost-effective and simplicity. What I found that helps to make operating the shotgun much easier, because Cyma does have a version of this where it has a foregrip instead, so it makes it way easier. But in this case, what's kind of nice, and I don't know if this is a thing that they purposely did, but these little tabs right at the front of the pump here, right there, and there's one on the other side as well, right here. If you put your first finger in front of that tab, this makes it a lot easier for your hand to push on something, or to push against, I should say. So from here, in the same action of you moving your trigger hand forward and then pulling the pump back while keeping this first finger in front of that tab, it makes it a lot easier to pump the action. Okay, so I don't even have to have this in my shoulder. I can still, with just using both hands, and going the opposite direction, I can pump this shotgun way easier, as opposed to not having my first finger there and pumping it, especially if my hands start getting sweaty. So keep that in mind. That little tip that I found or came across helps a lot. Okay. I will say though, even with that little tip there, it does make it a lot easier if you are aggressive or rough with the pump. Okay, if you're too soft with it, you're gonna not fully pull the spring all the way back, and it's not going to cock the hammer, so to speak. Okay, so you do have to be rough with it every time you pump the action. Okay. I will say now, to show you how to unload it, same thing. You just, as a righty, you roll the shotgun over till it's upside down. And now, same action. I contact the shell release with my middle finger, and then I just pull back towards myself. Now, if you do it with enough, not so much force, but if you do it in a way where you do a quick pull away with your hand, it should kick the shell out just enough, right? Like, you do have to kind of, it's a bit of a knacky thing, but if I do it again for you, if I just do that, it should kick the shell out just enough so that way your thumb can reach in, pull the shell out, and then what I like to do is I will place the shell upside down now. So instead of going in like this, I'm going in the other way, like that, and I'm pushing this down. This is so that I know that this is an empty shell now, and I cannot use this anymore, right? Just a little, just how I like to do it, or what I've played around that works good for me. Hopefully this works for you too, but you can always figure out your own way. From here, you can grab the next shell, like that, just from pulling underneath, push it in, down, or close the trap door, and then you're good to go. Alright, now I'll show you how you can operate this as a lefty as well, which is great, because remember, you know, you're not always shooting right-handed. Sometimes you gotta shoot left-handed as well, even if you're not left-handed, right? But so instead of rolling the gun towards the center, I will roll the gun still to the left, except now I'm gonna cradle the gun and the stock under my armpit like this. Now I just use my middle finger to press the shell release, right? It'll open the trap door and it'll pop the shell out a little bit. Obviously, if you press the shell release with the right timing and kind of hard enough, if this shotgun was right side up, the shell would fall out, right? I mean, it's not really ideal because you might accidentally drop it and then you have to, you know, reach down and pick it up. So this, at least with this, it'll still kick the shell out, but it won't drop it on the ground. So now, same thing. Now I can pick this shell up, or take the shell out, and then place it back into the side saddle, grab the next one, and then load it in. Same thing, close the door, and then roll the gun back right side up, and now I'm back in the fight. Essentially. Now the side saddle, in case you're wondering, this is just a very simple fabric side saddle that I got on Amazon. As I can show you. It's Velcro with onto this here, which it has adhesive on the other side that you just place along the side of the shotgun here. So as you can see, you can obviously remove these, and then whenever, if you wish to, for whatever reason, and then just stick this back on whenever you're ready. And yeah, like really cheap. I think you can get 2 of these even for like $20, which is awesome. If you really wanted to, you could even probably get a plastic version of this, but I mean, with enough time, granted, you will need to kind of break these in a little bit because it is very tight in the beginning. So you're gonna want to kind of leave some shells in there, maybe kind of like when you're loading these or just switching the orientation, just pull the whole shell through the little straps. That way it kind of stretches the fabric a little bit, you know. So there are probably some better ways to do it, but that's just what I'm trying to do right now. So as far as sights goes, very basic sights. You got some iron sights here, rear sight, front sight, you know. So granted, it is shotgun, so you probably won't have to do too much aiming unless you're doing some kind of precision shooting, but you know, it is what it is. The hop up is fixed with this shotgun, so you can adjust it, which isn't a big deal, I guess. Honestly, I think just using 0.2 gram BBs is fine. Sometimes I notice you get a little bit of over hop, but sometimes also under hop, so it's not the most consistent as far as, like, you know, how the BB's traveling, but again, it's a shotgun, so I mean, past like 30 yards, you really it's a lot more difficult to be hitting anybody with this anyways. So I probably would just try to keep your engagements within 30 yards, if anything, you know, so you don't have to deal with that. As far as FPS, for a spring shotgun, out of the box, when I was testing this, I was getting around 280 feet per second, which for a shotgun, that's pretty decent. You really don't need high FPS because you're more focused on the spread, and you know there could be a good chance you'd be hitting multiple BBs at the person anyway, so they definitely should be feeling that. What is really cool, I must say, is that this shotgun, even though it is a pump action shotgun, apparently, like with a lot of spring powered airsoft shotguns and even some gas powered shotguns, is this shotgun has the ability to slam fire. Okay, and I'll show you that really quickly. So normally you just pump the action and then pull the trigger and you fire, and then you pump again. But if you hold the trigger down here, if you hold the trigger down while you pump it, you will actually fire the next round. Alright, so you can imagine you can get some pretty fast follow-up shots by doing this. Right? But obviously you're going to lose accuracy with this, and sometimes, as you kind of noticed right there, I did fumble a little bit on like the first pump or whatnot, so it does take a little bit of practice to get consistent with that. So I guess if you know somebody's around a corner, you could just, you know, keep suppressing fire and just, you know, turn the corner to get him, because there's no way out for them essentially, right? Because you're just constantly throwing rounds at him. So especially again for CQB, this thing can really destroy, even for a spring shotgun. Okay. The mock bolt here, by the way, it's just for looks. I mean, it does move when you move the pump, which is pretty cool. But again, it doesn't do anything. Okay. Lastly, I'll kind of just show you the you know, the trigger pull. So if I pump it here, it's a very heavy trigger pull. Okay, so there's no take up or anything. I'm pretty much right at the wall. Okay, that's very heavy. That's like probably like 11 pounds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I'd say probably it's like around 11 pounds. So very heavy trigger pull. Probably not ideal for you know, IPSC shooting. I mean, maybe, but definitely not going to be the most realistic compared to the real thing. I don't think. But hey, when you're pumping this and shooting, you're not even going to realize it that much from what I've experimented with. So there's that. You do have some sling attachment points, by the way, on the stock here. One on the right, one on the left, as well as at the front here. So doesn't matter if you're righty or lefty, you can easily make a, you know, have a 2-point sling attachment with this, which will make this a lot easier, whether you're operating this as a primary or even a secondary. Honestly, you know, you just have this slung along, on your back, and if you know, you like to keep this for close encounters, if you know that reference, then it'd be great for as a secondary, honestly. So, or a third or a secondary, if you know what I mean. You know, if you have like a rifle, handgun, and this, you know, if you're gonna go all gung ho and stuff like that. But that is pretty much it, guys. The thing about this is that this isn't gonna be mine. I did buy it with my own money, but this is gonna be featured for the new airsoft range that Solely Outdoors will be opening up very soon, as I'm speaking right now, and I will be running the show, you know, taking the lead on the whole project. So it's gonna be real exciting. So you know, if you're following the channel, please stay in tune for some updates in regards to that. But hopefully you enjoyed this review, guys. If you have any questions about this, do leave your questions down in the comment section below. But otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys in my future videos, and until next time, peace out, guys.